A very good afternoon to you all. Yes, it's the one-day special, and I've got some news for you as well. We're just looking at some of the amazing samples that, of course, have been made for us by Pink Frog, and Hazel's also here in the studio with us as well. But the news is, I'm going to tell you right now, the one-day special did sell out in between the shows. So what are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you a little story, shall I? Because we did load more stock on extended delivery. It's just next Thursday, which is the 21st of January, but already a third. Was it a third? Wow, that's how busy it is, Hazel.
It is busy, isn't it?
A third of the stock already gone at the extended. That's in between shows.
I know. I'm not surprised though, because the value is amazing, and what you're getting in there, and it doesn't matter if you're a card maker, it's perfect. You've got your card blanks in there. If you like making boxes, you've got your bigger card in there. You've also got all them instructions. You can make frames, you can stamp, you can paint.
Wow.
What could be better?
Well, let's talk about those instructions and the one-day special, because they are included. The instructions themselves, along with the cardstock that we're going to go through, make 36 different projects. And I was having a little chat to Hazel as well, that just before the hour, Hazel, you were telling me that if you make every one of those projects with the one-day special, you will still have leftovers.
Loads left, yeah.
And that is ridiculous.
I know it is.
And we're talking big frames, we're talking big bags and gift bags, you know, of all different sizes. We're talking memory boxes or books. We're talking card folds as well.
Your memory books. You could make probably one of the 15x42 ones, which you've got on that side there. You could also make a 15x30 one as well, easily.
So all of the pages in this book?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous, isn't it? Well, let's have a look what we've got in the one-day special. Just as I go through this, of course, you can fill this however you wish, but the cardstock from the one-day special being used in the making of this is just one of the 36 projects. Now, you are getting so much when it comes to the super smooth cardstock as well. And Hazel, of course, when we talk about super smooth, we know by now with Pink Frog, you can throw so many things at the surface.
Of course you can. And you know what? The whole idea behind this show was so that I didn't want to stand here with the boards and just point and say, you can do that. I wanted to show you physically, and that's why the whole counter in every size that we do, ranging from A6 all the way up to 12x12, is there, because I can show you what you can do on it. And it's just, some of us, they're techniques that have been around for a long time, but we forget about them.
We do.
By seeing them physically, it's just like a little light bulb going off, and it's just like, oh, I need to try that. And then you could make your own little memory book. The one in front of you,
this one here,
Caroline's made that, and that's her little technique book. So
I love the frame.
When
on the
you
front
get your
of this
little one-day special home, you can make your own, and you can put your own techniques into it.
Oh,
but it's just a really nice way to catalogue all the different things that you can do with Super Smooth. So on there you've got a little pulley, so you can use your alcohol markers, your water pens, your water pencils, and they all work perfectly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you are getting A3 cardstock. You're getting 12x12 in here as well. We are also getting, is it the 15x42 we've got in there as well?
Yeah, you've got your 15x42 you'll get 25 of.
Yeah.
And you've got your 15x30 you'll get 50 of.
Wow.
But also you're getting 50 sheets of the Super Smooth in the paper, which is 180 GSM. We call it paper, it's almost a card. The quality is beautiful. You can still do all them techniques on it, even though it's a thinner weight.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that, does it? And we're talking those 36 instruction sheets as well, Hazel. So we've already mentioned we've got frames. I mean, we've got frames of all sorts of different sizes. We've talked about the books as well, the memory books. We've talked about the gift bags as well, and I can see you've got a whole array of different sizes at the back there.
Yeah. And there's that little, that one there. That's made from one sheet of 12x12 card.
Sweet.
We are going to make one of those in this show, but we're really going to put the card through its paces, and we're going to be crumpling it up and inking on it and stamping on it, and it will not look like a piece of white card when we're finished.
Amazing.
In fact, you'll think, was that really white when we started?
Oh, cannot wait. Well, the price is just £19.99. There's a £10 saving, 937606. Just think, for less than 20, I'm going to say less than 20 because every penny counts.
Yeah.
For less than £20, you can make 36 projects and still have that cardstock left over as well. Now, it works out at just 12 pence per sheet. That really is seriously incredible value, isn't it? Let's go to the website and see what else we've got over there as well, because we've got different bundles for you as well. So there's lots of different sizes when it comes to the Super Smooth. We've got envelopes in some of the bundles as well. We've also got the True Black in there. You don't want to miss out on that one. You know, we've got glues as well in your consumables. The glue has been extremely busy. I've got got to say. The non-clogged bottles are there as well. We've got gesso for you. We've got mylar. So we have got a lot in store for you as well. And the Scotch tape as well. Always a popular buy for holding down your dies. And, you know, tack tape, that's what it is. We've got stamps there as well. You may have noticed some of the samples using some of these stamps already. But, you know, everything, all those consumables are there for you as well, included the red liner tape and the double-sided foam as well. Oh, look at that. Yes, £10.99. That's your A4 180 GSM, 100 sheets. So that is in the one-day special. That's the A4, the same sort that we've got in the one-day special.
Exactly, but we put it on as a separate item because as it's getting known, more and more people think it's art, and they're falling in love with it because these flowers here, they've all been made from the paper, and it moulds so beautifully, and it does take the ink and stamps.
Why would you pay the £10.99, even though it's a great price, when you can get that in the one-day special and get everything else included?
Obviously, it's half the amount, but it's still a big chunk to get you started.
It is.
Yes.
Right, we're going to go straight to you, Hazel.
Okay, so I'm just going to dip in. I have a box next to me. I'm going to lift it up and show you. It's got my A6 and my A5 in there. It's just so handy to have because I always dip into it and pick out for when I'm doing my little sample swatches and bits and pieces.
That is a great idea for anybody, actually, isn't it? To have that ready to go when you're crafting.
Yeah, I mean, you can decorate I've put a little bit of pattern card on the front there just to decorate it up, just to make it mine, so to speak. But they stack up on your shelf really well as well, so... Right,
now, we do have that available for you as well. If you want a box like Hazel, you can get it for £13.98. You are saving £8. It is already on extended delivery from the 18th of January, but well worth the wait. It's not long, is it? 698005. Right, Hazel.
Okay, so throughout the shows, we've gone from blending with oxides, with all sorts of different things. We've had our brush shows on there and our eco lines. I'm going to come on with some paint now and hopefully just show you a few things, including using the gesso as well. So this one is just, it's just like an acrylic paint, and I'm just going to almost dry brush, but a little bit heavier. I just want to get some of that paint covering it.
Oh, you've chosen one of my favourite colours.
I love the khaki, it's gorgeous. So I don't want to over wet it, but it will take it.
Wonderful.
In fact, for this one, I will cover it because I'll do the scrumply. Now, what I do enjoy about this is that even though we're putting paint on there and drying it, it doesn't stop me from doing other techniques on it. So I'm actually going to crumple this one up.
All right, okay.
It doesn't crack, and I can score on it as well. So I'm going to do a couple of things. I'll just put some paint on this one when this one's dry.
Okay, and that's drying very quickly, we can see.
Yeah, very quick.
Is that an acrylic paint? Is it a chalk base paint?
It's acrylic, I'm sure it is. Yes, chalk acrylic.
Yeah, lovely.
And then for this one, I'm just going to more dry brush it, so I won't need as much paint.
I'm intrigued. I've no idea what you're going to do.
It's exciting. Right. Okay, so I'm just going to set that one aside to dry while we work on this piece.
Okay.
So I'm just going to use my two thumbs to break down the fibres and crease into the card. Because it's 300 GSM, sometimes, you know, like when you... Oh, do you know what? I'm going to do it. Sometimes it just jabs into your hand, but that's given me a nice bit of detail in the middle.
And we can
so
see
that I can
tearing,
pick up.
The paint's not cracked.
No cracking at all on there. And then I'm going to pick out, I've got Shady Lane from my Versa range, and I'm just going to blend around.
Okay.
Do you know what? I've got the wrong colour. It doesn't matter. Let's put a bit of Shady Lane round first. I was getting confused with the next technique, but that's fine.
That's a lovely colour though. You can see where it's picking up on the edges and on the
really
cracks.
nice.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm now going to go on to my brown and my fallen leaves.
I suppose you could put as many colours as you wish on.
Of course you can. I got a bit carried away this morning.
Did you?
Right. So that's just picking out all of that detail.
Yeah.
In fact, the one that I did is a completely different colour still, but it doesn't matter. This is the thing, that looks really kind of... Let's bring that one in, look.
Oh, yeah.
So you can really see the difference there. You get almost a bit of a shine on there as well. You could dry brush some gesso across there as well. So that's one way of using it with the paint. Also, on yesterday's show, on our launch show, I made a frame and I scored on top of the paint which didn't crack either, and it's the grey frame at the front with all the flowers
we'll see
on.
We can take a look at that.
Yeah,
I can just spot it actually at the corner of my eye. We'll see if the camera can pick that one up. But every time you do this technique as well, Hazel, you're going to get different effects, aren't you? Oh, I thought something was going to fall over there.
It was
paper
just the paper.
wafted back.
Yeah, but so that is, it's 15 by 30. I've used 4, one for each edge.
Yeah.
It's got the paint on, which is white gesso with a little bit of black pigment in. Covered it totally, dried it out, white brush some gesso on, and then added a tiny bit of stamping, but it scored beautifully.
Beautiful.
Okay, so I'm going to start on this one. This is the Shady Lane now. I'm just going to add a little bit of ink around the outside, and I'm going to make this look a little bit fence-like.
Oh, I can see that already actually, yeah. Oh, your weathered wood.
Okay, so I'm just going to bring in my board. I've just took... Never mind. Move that out the way. Do you know, it's always the way when you're crafting. You start off with such a big area and you end up with it round, yeah, just sitting on your knee. I'm just going to score every 1.5 centimetres.
Okay, lovely stuff.
Just on the reverse so it pokes through. What's that, 4.5?
And if you don't have a scoreboard, Hazel, you could mark with a pencil and use the edge of a ruler and your scoring tool. Of course
you can. 7. Do you know what? I probably haven't done that right, but never mind. We'll get away with it.
Okay.
I can't add up at the best of times. Now I'm looking for some ground espresso. So I'm just going to drag my pad down. This is going to give me that wood-like effect, but I've got that lovely paint detail in the background. So it's about mixing up all your mediums, really, isn't it? Now, that's picked up the embossing that I did. You can...
I love that, Hazel.
It's gorgeous, isn't it? A little bit of a baby wipe.
Yeah.
That just softens down if you want to just
so that's
to mix
a wet
it.
baby wipe that you're using
exactly.
there.
What did I call it?
You did say baby wipe, but sometimes we dry them out and use them for different techniques.
Yeah, so I've left it on there because I didn't want it soaking, because I do really quite like the darker bits that they add like knots. So yeah, but how effective is that one? And that's a technique that isn't on our board. I know our boards have got probably, I don't know, 8, 16, 24 different techniques on our boards, but yeah, I find new ones all the time. But there you go.
That, I'm going to pinch that. I'm going to do that later.
Do it.
I am.
Definitely.
I love that technique.
I know you're poised with your...
Just as you're resetting, Hazel, we're going to mention this glue as well. Tell us about this glue, actually, because this has been a really good seller for you as well, hasn't it?
So an EVA glue, it's that's an ethylene vinyl acetate glue, as opposed to a PVA, and all it means is it's used in the archivals.
Yeah.
So the real delicate documents that need preserving, it's a specialist glue that does all that. It stays flexible, it's not brittle, it doesn't yellow. It's perfect for bookbinding and all your crafty needs.
Lovely. Got a nice nozzle on there as well.
That's a lovely click, kind of secure, keeps it. Yeah.
Yes, you can hear it.
And then when you unscrew the lid, you've got like a little seal that you have to take off.
Okay.
And once you replace that lid, if you pop off the end, then you can fill them into our glue bottles with no fuss.
No do go for that.
Everywhere.
Many of you are already going for that as well. I know Hazel loves that. £13.99. 538442 is the item number. We've also got the non-clog bottles as well, so that will go decant into the non-clog, will it?
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect.
Into the 3 and the 5. Is it 3 and the 5? 5 and the 8. I always get it confused. 5mm and 8mm. The yellow top and the...
Yeah, now these are also an extended delivery, £12.99, but pop those into your basket as well, 603282. I think everybody needs some of those in their life. I know our Lottie does, she just told me.
They're amazing. Okay, I'm going to move on to our gesso now, and I know we've got this on, it's an amazing price, but by adding the gesso to your cardstock, it just gives you a completely different finish. I'm just going to try and clean this green off a little bit.
I've just seen the price on these.
I know.
I've just been asked, can I grab these from the back? And I thought, do I just get one or do I get them all? Surely I must get them all because they're all sat there.
Yeah.
Never expected to see all three for £11.97.
I know. That, is it, there's 200ml in a tube, isn't there? Yes, 600
is crazy. And look at the name on it as well. It's Talons.
Talons.
028044 is the item number. Do not miss out on those. Artist quality. Oh, there's going to be another shopping basket getting full here, isn't there?
Okay, I have got a tinge of green in there, but it's fine. I'm going to do two pieces, two different techniques,
okay.
and then...
Just going to let everybody know we are very busy on the phone lines as well. About 4 minutes queue time at the moment. If you can go to the website or use the app, that is the quickest route, of course, but we will get to you as soon as possible. I think now you've seen the price of that gesso as well, you're definitely going to be adding that into your baskets. I can't get over that.
No, I know, it's mad. Right, I've got a little bit of gesso on there. I'm going to leave that to one side to dry while we work with this one. Now, I didn't completely coat it, but what I'm going to do, just make sure it's dry before we start doing anything.
I am totally intrigued here, Hazel. I honestly have absolutely no idea what you're creating.
What I discovered was, by putting the gesso down, because it's a super smooth, it shouldn't work like a watercolour card.
Yeah.
By putting this gesso down, it gives you more time to sort of like move ink around and play, and it's more mixed media. So if I just dip down here and get, I know what I'm looking for.
Well, I think anybody that's got quite a stock of Super Smooth from Pink Frog, you still need to go for the one-day special, because remember, you are getting 36 project sheets included as well. So you've got your A3, you've got your A4 in there, you've got your 12 by 12, you've got your 15 by your 42. What else have I missed out? You've got your paper, haven't you, in there as well? And all of those projects as well.
Absolutely. A3, 12 by 12, 15 by 42, 15 by 30, and your A4 paper. All your instructions. Can't be bad, can
And
it?
just in case you missed the start of the show, you can make every one of the 36 projects and still have spare cardstock as well. And we're talking using the materials that Hazel's using, your inks, your gessos, your sprays, your stamps, you know, so many different techniques, all for that wonderful price. There is a £10 saving even without that. It's incredible value, but 937606 for the one-day special. Just a reminder, we did sell out in between shows today, so it's on extended delivery from the 21st of January. It's only next Thursday, so not long to wait. Right, Hazel, back to you.
Okay, so although I'm working with the paints, I'm just going to bring in my Ecoline, I never know which way, and I'm just going to add a few little bits of colour onto the top here.
Okay.
And we'll just pop some of that yellow there. And then just a bit of water.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so this then is going to move a lot more than it would have if it, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Trying to spit it out. I didn't really mean to put that much water down, but my thing is
I
caught.
think that looks great.
Let's just ink that.
Lovely colours.
It just works really well. I'm going to mop this one up a little bit because I'm a bit of a cheater like that. I'm sorry. I do that.
I don't think there's any such thing as cheating, in fact. There's no wrong and there's no cheating.
No, there isn't.
Except when Hazel does it, then she's cheating.
I love the way that it's kind of smoky. I'm going to bring this one into shot so that you can see.
Ooh,
look, this is one that I did earlier.
Wow, where's that flower from, Hazel?
That
is that one of your stamps?
Yes, it's from our poppy set, which is
I love
so
those
popular.
colours. So that's literally just the technique you've done with the pens and you've overstamped?
Yeah. So literally, I'm just going to, like you say, I could do it in my stamping platform, but I am just going to pop that on there.
This is why you never ever throw these backgrounds the way that you make, even if you don't like them. We learnt that with Lou the other day as well. Lou Sims, when we did the one-day special with the jelly plates.
Just seal that off because
I love that stamp.
just make sure that that black's not going to run. See, look, I've dried that all away, which is perfect. And then when I go in with some colour, let's pop some blue in.
Okay, we're not taking our eyes off you, Hazel, but I'll just let everybody know, if you want that poppy stamp, which is stunning, it does come with some true red card as well. It's A4, 290 GSM, and of course you've got more than the one poppy on there as well. Look at that, what another great buy. £3.50 saving, £14.95, 441 936. And that just goes to show, despite the fact you do get red card, poppies don't have to be red.
No.
I am absolutely loving the colours you're working with.
Thank you. So can you see how well that ink is moving around? If at any point you want to come in and just pick up some extra and dab it in, it takes the spotting. Do you know what I mean? You can really get and play with this. Just gives a really beautiful effect.
It really does.
So you can add as much or as little, go from your palette, from your pen, just add in more.
Can't take my eyes off that stamp as well. You've got just the right amount of detail in there.
Yeah.
You've got the curl of the petals, you've got that density in the middle there, but you haven't got too much shading, so it doesn't take away from the effect that you're doing.
No, I love the open spaces, but like you know where to add a little bit of extra. So that was one thing, just by adding the white gesso to the background. If you take it another, whoopsie, if you take it another way, this is the one that we did previous, but you want to do your ink blending techniques. Let's go with these colours, shall we? We've got a bit of Mermaid Lagoon.
Okay.
Ah, this is, I mean, I'm sorry that my mat's really bad.
Oh,
but look how nice
that
that's blending over it. And
so
then,
again, over the gesso there, you can't tell the gesso is there, so if you have just tuned in, Hazel did just put a very, very thin layer of gesso on. We do have the gesso for sale. That is not an incorrect price either, at £11.97 for 3 tubes, 200 millilitres in each, from Royal Talons as well. I've got to show you these again. This is just a bargain if ever I saw one. Grab those while you can. That price, genuine there, can't get over that. So a little bit of drying off with a heat gun, Hazel.
Yeah.
So a nice dry surface, and now working
and now
with
we're
your
inking onto it as if it's a piece of, what am I looking for?
Do you know, nearly 2/3 of the gesso is gone.
As if it's a piece of card. That's what I'm. I'm just working with it now as if it's a piece of super smooth, but it's got this mixed media feel to it.
Do you have favourite colours, Hazel? Because looking around at all your wonderful samples, there's so many different
They're just all different, aren't they? It just depends what takes me fancy on the day. I do get a favourite combo, and then I have to restrain myself to step away from it because everything ends up that colour. And I was here a couple of weeks back with a one-day special with the chocolate brown card, and oh my word, I'd got speckled, is it speckled egg? Speckled hen.
Yes,
Why do I want to say speckled
the
hen? No, it is speckled egg. Speckled egg, peacock feathers, and ground espresso. Can't leave it alone. Just
wow.
Anyway, water. I've got a few bits of mica in this one.
Okay, yeah.
I've got plain water in that one. We'll put a few dots. Now the magic about this one is that when you put your spritzes on with the mica in, when you take it away, the mica stays, but the colour strips.
It's amazing,
and I'm going to hope
Look
that I
at
can.
that.
Can you see that? Can I get it at the right angle?
Yeah. Oh, I just caught a little glimpse of it there. So the
I can see it now in the big dob. You can still see the sparkle.
Oh, I spotted it then. The more it dries as well, the more that's going to come through.
So then what I would do there is
that effect.
I would pull in my mylar. Now this is the box that I keep all of my stencils in. So I've cut my mylar into squares, so you get 4 out of a sheet.
Okay.
I see, I've got to use my stars because they
now
are
the
my
mylar
favourite.
again is something that's a very good price. But for anyone that hasn't seen mylar before, can you explain what it is, Hazel?
So it's a 350 micron. Let me get a plain piece like this. It starts off like this, and the idea is that you use your simple dies to cut the shapes so that you can use them to ink through. If you're lucky enough to have one of those electronic machines that's got a deep cut blade, then you might be able to do fancier, but we're just recommending the simple shapes on here. So it could be stars, it could be circles.
But I find the basic shapes the most useful as well.
Absolutely, and do you know what? The mylar and the masket couple up brilliantly together. Because the mylar is 350 micron, it's quite deep, so if you wanted to stamp right up to the edge, I tend to bring in my masket. So if I show you the front of here, I've got that real nice crisp edge on that circle. That's where I did my masket because I wanted to stamp right up to the edge there, you see. So they kind of work hand in hand together.
They do, don't they? And I've just noticed as well, when it comes to the mylar, 12 by 12. So if you cut into 4, you've instantly got 4 6 by 6 stencils from one sheet.
Yeah, that's 24.
I get 24 from
How much is that
for £11.99.
50p that works
I
out
know,
each.
that's crazy.
It's
394204. We do have the masket as well for you. Now 10 sheets of A4 with a masket. So obviously with the name, and you've just described there, Hazel, for masking off areas.
We're
Is there anything else
we're
we can
just
use
masking it over so that, well, one for inking, but when you're stamping, you say I stamp that poppy down. If I go through to my poppy set in here, shut that down. On this side, I've got my masket. So I stamp my poppy down. I would pop that over the top, which would mask that area. So it means that when I go back down, I'll do it for you so that you can see, and stamp over that. Maybe we'll go there. If I take that away, that then puts that behind.
Yes.
And you can keep moving it around. And there's one particular thing I'll show you. If I bring this one in, if you look at the roses in the background there, that's all been masked off separately. Yeah. So they're all behind each other. And you can create some wonderful techniques.
Oh, wow. Oh, you need this as well. $9.99, you're getting 10 sheets, A4, and it's reusable, of course, to a certain point, isn't it? Obviously, you can reuse it to a point.
It's a low tack, because obviously you don't want it to stick to your work, and it will lose its stick. I've got mine stored in this little folder that I've made, so this acetate, so I just stick it on that side. So this is all of my stamps from Pink Frog stored. And I've made it from the one-day special, would you believe? It's just super smooth cardstock layered on top, different techniques on the front.
That's a really good idea as well. Now, if anybody wanted to make something like that, could we convert maybe the album to do a similar thing? Would that work?
Yes, you could. So that album that's in front of you, that we went through, that Caroline had made. Yeah. In fact, there's a bigger one on this side. It's still your side of the screen. Will that be,
it's
just got pattern papers. That's it. So it's made from a 15x42. So that would be the size.
So you get the template for this in with the one-day special.
Absolutely, yeah. Not the bits that I've put inside, because that's just bits of card stuck in and little flaps and that. But if you wanted to put a stamp set on each one of those, then absolutely, yes, you could.
Wow.
You've got the depth, you've got the spine. Do you know what I mean? So yes, you could either follow that template. If you want to make one like mine, it's just a sheet of A4, super smooth, and you score it at 14.5 centimetres from each end, which gives you a 7mm gusset, so to speak, and then they just sit on top of each other.
Amazing.
Just glue them.
Well, you can catch these shows on Rewind if you want those instructions again, but don't forget, with the one-day special, you are getting 36 instruction sheets to create all of the different samples that we're seeing around the studio here, from the books, from the folded cards, to the gift bags, to the big frames, the small frames, and you will still have cardstock left over if you make one of each of those wonderful projects. I can tell you that the phone lines are so busy, we've got 9-minute queues at the moment.
Wow.
Please do go to the website, please use the app if you can do. We're on extended delivery for the one-day special itself. The one-day special sold out in between this morning's show and this afternoon show, basically. So already, when we launched at the beginning, or when we started at the beginning of the hour, a third, or was it 30%? A third of the stock had gone, hadn't it? It is flying out. You need to check those baskets out. Now, half of the stock of the extended stock has now gone, dispatched from the 21st of January. Do not miss out on this. This is incredible value. And while you've got those baskets, of course, you can be adding in things like your gesso, your glues, your glue bottles with those tiny nozzles as well. Many of you are doing that. We've got other things as well. I can tell you, oh no, the Royal Talons, it's looking very vulnerable. It's almost at limited stock now. You need to be quick with that. I am not surprised. I bet some people have been multi-buying on that by the droves. I really do. I cannot get over that price, $11.97, 028 044. Just very quickly, to go back to the one-day special, if you break it down per sheet, it makes it just 12 pence per sheet. And we are talking as large as A3 in there. We've got 12 by 12 in there. Yes, we've got A4 in there as well. We've got those longer lengths as well that'll do all those different folds as well. You've got that A4, which is paper. Do you know, it just is incredible. I think many people will be buying this, Hazel, simply for the instruction sheets as well.
Absolutely.
They may have already got cardstock, but you are never going to want to run out of this,
You can't run out of it. It's because it's one that you're going to go to every single day. I mean, you see me. This is no lie. This isn't just put on for the show. This is literally, I dip into it every time I make something. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Right, so you're using one of the stencils that you made with the Mylar, Dan. I can see you've gone for the stars.
Yeah. And I'm just overlaying just lots of the different sizes and just adding some colour, and then I'm actually adding a little bit of black, just a shade on the side.
Okay.
So I'm just building up kind of a kaleidoscope. Is it? Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, it does look like I think
so. I'm going to lay up that yellow because it's a little bit hidden in the background, and I'm just going to actually make that.
And this is a good technique as well. I mean, we often see using water brushes, adding some watercolour around the edge to bring the shadowing out on something. But you can do that with your stencils. You can even do it with your masking as well, can't you? If you move your mask, you know, like the flower you'd got, if you moved it over slightly and caught the edge with ink, you could give it that shadow in there as well.
So this is a bit of masking. Look, I'll just peel a bit off and we'll stick it on there. It doesn't really go, but I'll show you exactly what you can do.
Okay.
As opposed to using masking as opposed to your mylar.
Yeah.
So because my ink is a bit wet, it might not stick totally brilliant. Let's get that one. And we'll just use a little bit of black ink. And I'm coming in with a brush this time because I want it softer.
Okay.
Like I say, it's not something that I should have really have done it on a separate piece of paper, but it's going to give you the idea of what you can do other than use it with your... Yeah, it looks like you haven't done much, but actually when you take it away, you've got another dimension.
So dimensional.
So if I bring this in, look, and just show you there, look what you can create.
So is that done with brushos in the background?
That's brushos in the background, and then they just look like bubbles, don't they?
Don't they?
Floating down. And it's just a clever bit of ink work, just inking on one side darker and lighter across the top there. And then there's a few splats of gesso flicked, watered down and flicked on.
Amazing. You need the mylar and you need the masket, as well as with, of course, everything else that's going in your baskets. You need them. Now, the masket, only £9.99 for 10 sheets, £9.76,569, and almost 60% of the stock has gone. Just looking at those samples again there from Hazel, they blow you away, don't they? Now, bottom of the screen, you can find that mylar as well. Don't miss out on that. You're going to be making your own stencils by die cutting those shapes. Do you know, even if you are just sticking to those basic shapes, we can see with a circle what you can achieve there. 394204 is the item number on the mylar. Now, when it comes to the mylar, 70% of the stock has gone as well. There it is at the side of the screen now for you. Remember, these aren't 6x6, as you see in the Hazel using those stencils. These are 12x12, so you can cut those down straight down the middle one way, straight down the middle the other, and instantly you've got 4 6x6 stencils ready to go. That gives you 24 6x6 stencils for £11.99, making it just 50p per stencil. Of course, if you want bigger stencils, you can, but it's easy to work that out, isn't it? And I think 6x6 is a really, really lovely size to work with as well, because you can move the stencils around. You know, we often use 6x6 as a card base as well. Now, I can tell you as well, I'm so sorry, Hazel, because I don't want to keep pulling away from you.
No,
but
it's absolutely fine.
Would you believe we have got 11-minute queue times on the phone at the moment? This is the busiest I think we've been so far since 2021 started. That's what I think.
Wow.
Please, if you can use the app or the website, do so. But don't miss out on anything. It's well worth hanging on in there. If you can only hang on in the phone line, please do. We will get to you as soon as possible. Over half of the extended stock of the one-day special has also now gone as well. I'm going to throw straight to Hazel and shut up before I get instructed to give some more updates. Quick, Hazel.
Oh, my word, I was just tidying up. Right, I want to show you. I'm going to show you from a sheet of 12x12 card how to make a bag.
Okay,
from
lovely.
The instructions.
Yep. Now,
the first thing you need to do, so this is in the one-day special, it's your 12x12 sheet. Just going to take that messy sheet off.
It's not so messy now, you've done a good job cleaning that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to cut off, to start with, 2 strips at 1 inch.
Okay.
And that leaves us 12 inches by 10 inches to make our bag. Yeah. And then you need your scoreboard. So it's all, I'll show you the sheet so that you know what it looks like.
Okay.
This is the one. So it says after you've cut off your 2, you've got your 10x12, and it's all clearly laid out. Okay, so I am gonna work on inches. I don't usually, but if the card is measured in inches, I work in inches. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go ½ an inch on all 4 sides.
Lovely stuff. Now, I'm not going to stop you, Hazel.
That's fine.
Looking at the templates you've got there, I can see they've been laminated. I presume that's a good suggestion for everybody to laminate them when they get them home?
Laminate them, punch a couple of holes in, or even just a hole at the top and put them on a ring so that you can flip through them. Because
and they're wipeable then as well, aren't they?
Of course they are, and we've all got ink and paint everywhere. So the halfway point here is 6 inches, so I'm going to score that, and then I'm going to go 1 inch either side. So that's 5 and 7. And then rotate it back around we need to score 1.5 inches. So it's there. I'm going to guesstimate. I'm sure I'll get there. If it's the wrong one, though, I'll be angry. So use this strip and just kind of, there we go, it's about there. Feel it, once you're in the groove, you know. Okay. And then going across here, 1.5 inches in would be 8.5. About there. Make sure you butt it up. You can kind of see.
Yeah.
That's it. So the most important thing with this one is seeing it being made to understand how it works, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
So I am just going to show you which bits to cut, show you how I inked it up, but I have got one. Look, if I bring this up, this is what we're heading for, okay? And this is all ready for us to put together.
Okay.
So with your scissors, first things first, you're going to snip out those 4 corners.
So right out there, so
yeah.
Following those score lines, you can see exactly where to cut.
Yeah, and forgive me, I'm going fast because I really have got so many things to show you. I want to try and get them all in. Okay, so that's the 4 corners, and then in the centre, cut up to that score line that we did.
Yeah.
And then take off that tab line there. Okay, so it's just come in. And do the same on this side. And then snip that one off.
Okay, you need to be making sure you check out those baskets on the one-day special. We are so busy. Oh, you're scrunching again.
Literally now. In fact, you should really do them folds first. Just those 4, that'll be fine. And then when you're scrumpling it, be careful, do it with your 2 thumbs because you don't want to split where you've cut, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do too much on the bottom because it's the bottom of the bag.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to go over and I'll just concentrate on this top half just so that you can see how I achieved it.
So where you've scored, because you've already broken the fibres, that's where you've got to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah. So I'm choosing to use, on here I did ground espresso and a bit of aged mahogany. Okay. So I found a good way is just chuck the pad on there, look, rub it over, get the ink down, and then use a brush or a blending tool just to fill in the background a bit.
It's a lovely effect,
I might have used walnut stain. Either or, it doesn't matter. Brown, you could do this in bright colours.
And of course, where the fibres are broken, it's going to pick up the intensity of the ink more.
Then you can go in and recrease and do some more if you want. Pick up some of another colour.
Yeah.
Get that one down, and this is how you build it up. I'm just going to use that same brush. I have gone in on mine and used some of our texture stamps, which I know are very popular and on the show.
Okay.
We'll use the peel paint looking one. And I'll just pop that on there.
I cannot tell you how busy we are, Hazel.
Oh, my word.
The queues have gone up. I shouldn't be laughing. Poor people waiting. It's gone up to 12 minutes now, 12 minutes.
Hang in there, guys. It's worth the wait.
It is.
It really
is. For less than £20, I should round it up, really. Let's just round it up. It's £20 for the one-day special for all of that cardstock that you're getting. It works out at 12 pence per sheet. You've got the paper in there as well, the 180 GSM. You are getting 36 templates to work with. Do what Hazel suggests and what she's done. Do laminate them, put them on a ring, keep them nice and safe, keep them clean, because you will use them time and time again. We are talking about those little memory books that you can make, or turn them into somewhere to keep your stamps and your dies. We're talking about those wonderful frames that we've got dotted around the studio, and some of them are really large as well. We're talking about those gift bags. We're talking about those different folds, you know, your stepper cards, your gatefold cards. There's so many different templates there. 2/3 of the extended stock has already gone. We're just looking at those wonderful flowers there as well. They've been done with the 180 GSM paper that's also in the one-day special. We do have it separately at £10.99. If you just want the paper, you can go for it. But when you think for £20, well, £19.99 for the whole one-day special, then it's a bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? You can always add on some more paper if you want it. 019281 is the item number. And we're just seeing more and more of those fabulous samples as well. Oh.
Brilliant. Wow. Okay, so this is where I'm up to. Obviously, on this one, I worked it a bit more and I added a bit more ink in, but we've got the stamped in the background, we've got the 2 colours, so I'm just going to move that over.
Okay.
All you do then
Looks like a crumpled old map now.
Yeah. Some red liner tape, I would go for probably 9mm on this because we did it at 1/2 inch, didn't we? I'd pop some red liner there and fold that over. That gives us the same as this edge here, look.
Okay.
We do it on that side and we do it on this side as well, okay?
Lovely stuff.
So that's what I've got there on both edges. And then I've put red liner tape on these 2 tabs here.
We do have the red liner as well. Maybe need to restock after Christmas. $13.99. You're getting 3mm, 6mm, 9mm and 12mm. So every width that you're going to want there as well. 120 metres in total. I don't think I've ever seen meterage like that on anybody else's red liner tape. It works out per metre at just 12p per metre. 825810 is the item number. Sorry, Hazel.
It's absolutely fine. So whilst we're there, I've just popped... this is the front side of the bag, and I did ink it on the inside just so that it didn't look white inside when you looked in the bag. So for the tabs, you've got 2 bits of tape on the tabs that go on the inside, and then I've put red liner down there, but on the inside on the opposite one. Now this one here is the one that's going to go round first, and I'll show you that. They're ever so easy to make.
Okay. I can so see if you've got any compass stamps, world stamps or anything that's kind of map related. That technique just lends itself so beautifully in those colours.
I'm trying to do this so that you can see. So when you pull this round, the reason for this score line on the base is so that this score line here matches up to it when you bring it round, and you know that you're in the right place then, okay? Can you see that? So that you just follow... that way, follows it all the way around.
We can see that.
And then this is all sticky because I've took the back off. I'm going to take the back off of this as well. And then when you bring this one around, you've got to bring that across to that line, give it a little bit of a stick there, and then, can you see if I fold that there?
Yeah.
And fold the one underneath, that's where it lines up.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So just pop it down, give it a rub on there.
Yeah.
And then that gives you that perfect finish.
It does,
Repeat that on this side, so just pull that around.
And it's got such good strength to it as well.
Stick it on the bottom and then make sure that you're lined up at the top, which we are. Press that down. I mean, already...
Look at that.
Yeah. Now, I did have 2 strips of card somewhere, which were going to be the handles. Oh, here they are. So I've done the same technique on those, and all that we would do... How are we doing for time? That's it. You would just pop those around and stick those on.
So you've used every scrap of that piece of card that you started with?
Every single piece, yeah.
Wow,
not cut
no waste
anything off.
whatsoever.
No, but how... It's just so... Is tactile the right word?
It looks almost fabric-like, doesn't it?
It does.
Even though I can't feel that, they're just watching you, sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just flexing that a little bit and rubbing over that.
Exactly.
It looks like fabric from where I'm stood.
And the inside matches, but it's gone from super smooth...
That is ridiculous.
...to super grungy.
That is ridiculous. That is... Oh,
in
Hazel,
not a lot of time. It didn't take long, although obviously I did prep that because I didn't want to bore you all, but you saw the technique.
And the weathered woods we started with as well, lovely effects there, and all from the super smooth that you're getting in the one-day special. Incredible value. Again, 12p per sheet, and we are talking as big as your A3 there. You can see you've got your 12x12, so straight away, again, if you want to cut that down to 6x6s, 4 6x6 faces to cards if you want, or fronts of boxes. You know, leave it as 12x12s, make those frames as well. You've got your longer lengths, your 15x42 for your different folds. Looking around the studio at some of these samples as well, I mean, there's so many different versions on the theme. There are so many different colours being used. We've got pretty, we've got grungy, we've got wrinkled effects, torn effects, we've got pretty stamped effects, we've got die cut, we've got those gorgeous cardstock papers that have been used there as well for those frames, and just a simple die cut, but it doesn't look any less than beautiful, does it? Do you know, it's amazing, Hazel,
it's
again.
for everyone, really.
There really,
it's a piece
really
of white card, but you can make it what you want to.
You can. I don't know if you can just reach your side. Something that keeps catching my eye, the frame within a frame. Well, you've got more than one, but well, that would be fine, either of those actually, because do you know, just to show, using the different templates and mixing them together as well. So a really large frame with 3 of the smaller frames in there with those beautiful flowers as well, and then again a large frame with another internal frame there with those stamps that have been used. Well. Oh, it just looks magnificent, doesn't it? I'm thinking Mother's Day there. Well, that would be a gift. Don't go for the card. Just make a frame like that and put something nice and personal in there.
You could make this frame out of that starter kit easily. You could probably make, well, how many sheets of A3 are there? 20. So there's 1 sheet of A3 for the backing. There's a 15x42 twice, and there's a 15x30 twice. And then for the little bits in the middle, you could probably get those out of your 15x30s.
Wow.
So not a lot of cards. You could easily make 10 plus of that, just that particular frame.
And again, the frame at the top, Hazel, I've just got to point out, because that is absolutely beautiful, the techniques that you are achieving on this cardstock. Do you know, whether it's the brushos, using the gessos, whether it's your sprays, you know, you can throw so many things at the surface of this cardstock. And if you want those things to move, or if you want to protect that, of course, you go for the gesso as well. And it extends the options that you've got there. Thank you, Hazel.
That's okay.
Out of the corner of my eye, I can just see that frame all the time. I just think it is so beautiful. $19.99 for the one-day special. It's so busy out there. Please, please hang on in there. We are so busy, I can't tell you. Extended delivery, that's what we're on, but 70% of the stock has now gone, and we put huge stocks back in as well. Oh, can I say what I've just heard? This is how busy we are. Sometimes I'm told things and I think I daren't say it, so I have to get permission. There are over 100 people trying to get the one-day special alone at this current moment. That is why it is so important. If you can go to the website, if you can use the app, please do, because that definitely is the quickest and easiest route. I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but it is true. Let's have a look at that one-day special again. Of course, you're getting those 36 templates included, and you are talking 12 pence per sheet. I wouldn't be surprised, I said this earlier, but if a lot of you have been going for the one-day special to get those templates, those instructions, but you're just stocking up on that cardstock as an extra, because for the instructions alone, it's worth every penny. Now, 70% of the glue is also gone. This is your EVA glue, 225 millilitres, just $13.99, 538442. Then you've got your non-clog bottles as well. Go for these if you're going for that glue. You can decant from the larger bottle into the smaller ones. You've got those fine tips on there. You can see all the details. $12.99 is the price, 603282. Been very busy on those. The gesso has been extremely busy. I can remember the price because it's so amazing. $11.97 for 3. This is Royal Talons, 3 gesso primers, 028044 is the item number. Then the Mylar, you're getting, oh, this is again incredible value, the 12x12s. You're getting 6 sheets, but if you want to make 6x6 stencils, you will get 24 stencils for $11.99, making it just 50 pence per stencil, 394204, and 70% of the stock has gone. Then we have the masket for you. This is A4, but you're getting 10 sheets. You can cut this down to whatever size you want and use it in various different ways, as we've seen by Hazel. $9.99, 976569. And something that we're sold out of, and we've tried to get hold of more, we can't. The Scotch tape has sold out. We cannot get any more currently. We'll try and get it back in for next time Pink Frog's here, but I don't know when that will be. Sorry about that, but well done if you got it. The Poppy stamp has been extremely busy, almost at limited stock on that one. £3.50 saving, $14.95, 441936. Hazel, over to you.
Okay. Right, I'm going to show you how...
Just a bit busy.
I know, it's quite overwhelming actually. Starting off with the super smooth, I'm going to do some embossing with it to show that how, even though when it's been embossed and stretched, you can still ink and play.
Wonderful.
I've just pulled the first 2 embossing folders out of my stash that I could find. So I'm going to start in and I'm going to go, this one, I'm going to emboss through. I'll try and put it in straight. I'll emboss that and then we'll ink a piece of card and show you a different way of doing it. So I'm going to feed that through, grab another bit of card.
Hazel, quick question while that's feeding through, so I'm not disturbing the demo.
Yeah.
Could you use a 3D embossing folder, or is it advisable to go with the standard embossing folder?
Okay.
Does it matter?
You can use any. That's one Wonderful. On a 2D. Let's show you the depth there.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's lovely and crisp. You've got no ripping, no creasing, nothing. if we go to a 3D, and I did pick one up, funnily enough, just in case somebody asked. I just hope I've got the right layers.
Well, I know some cards won't take it, you see.
Of course,
so it's worth asking, because a lot of people might have a lot of 3D
so let's
folders.
just pop that one in there like so. Now, you just have to change your layer format.
We've got about 5 minutes demo time, Hazel.
Okay, let's just try it with them two. I might need to just pop another one in with it.
Okay.
It's all about knowing your machine.
Yeah, the sandwich.
I'll just have a little look. Do you know what? That's absolutely perfect, yeah.
Wow. So that's a 3D one?
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
The depth.
Wow.
I mean, look at the depth on that peak. That one there.
Can we turn it over and see the other
Yeah.
side as well, Hazel? Look at that. That's your deboss. So you're super smooth, great for your 2D and your 3D embossing folders as well. Wow.
Right, so what was I going to do? Oh, I remember now, because I went off on a tangent then. Okay, so we've got one embossed, we've got one on the 3D. Let's pop some ink onto this one.
Okay.
And again, I'm going to do that kind of random, that it doesn't really matter kind of inking.
Yeah.
I'll be a bit careful though. There we go. So I like a vibrant ink on my projects. So I'm going to come in with some seedless preserves.
That's a pretty colour, isn't it?
And they mix over lovely. And all you've got to do is go back to the first colour and blend over that edge, and then you get more of a seamless kind of crossover.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter for what I'm going to do, but I'll be a little bit more careful than I was earlier.
Loving the green that's coming through there.
Yeah, I like to get those crossover colours, and I have got a green. I was cold earlier. I'm hot. Right, now this sponge is very, very old, and can you see how pitted it is?
Yeah.
That's going to affect my blending.
Okay.
Okay, if I show you, it's going to be quite scratchy. Can you see the marks that I'm getting? That is because of my sponge. But I love the way, look, this green is pulling in that colour up there. Let's add a little bit more.
Again, adding texture.
Yeah.
I presume you're going to put this through an embossing folder.
I am indeed, yes. So I'm just going to soften out that line with some of the yellow. Pull that down.
Okay.
It's going to be some very colourful something or others.
Wonderful. Now, Hazel, as we just watched Hazel put this into an embossing folder, I'm going to again urge you to check your baskets out as quickly as you possibly can. We've sold so much stock this hour. Almost 75% of the extended stock has gone. And when I say huge stocks, I mean huge stocks. Now, what could happen if we don't sell out during the live hour is it could go in between the hours as well. So you do not want to miss out. I know if you're on the phone lines, you might get a little bit flustered now, like Hazel, get a little bit warm, because you're still waiting. So this is why it's important to go to the website or use the app if you can, because you will be able to check out quicker.
Okay. So now I've got a few different ones. This one, look, I've got my embossing through there.
That's pretty.
You can see it, but it doesn't stand out. So one of my favourite techniques to do, and I'm going to do it with... see, look, I just changed my mind. I'm going to do it with black soot. So I'm just going to...
So we're going with a roller this time.
Yeah. So this, it's a light motion, but you just pick up that embossed area. And I'm sorry about my brayer, because it has got a bit of a squeak. Coming from different angles.
Do you know, that works so well with a roller, doesn't it? Because you're not kind of going in between those embossed areas quite as much.
So
look at these.
This one here, look, different colours in the background, but then you've got that, I've gone over with a blue there, but that one's on a watery background. That one was braided, but very lightly, so I'd got that lovely speckled finish. This is a stencil embossed. Can you see the detail there? So you've still got that depth.
For want of a better word, Hazel, this shows the abuse that cardstock can take. We've taught 3D embossing folders, we've taught ink in multiple layers, because you're blending, you're reblending, you're going over the top with a brayer as well, and still no cracking, no tearing. You can see that cardstock is drying beautifully flat as well, and it's just the perfect surface to work from, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Very quickly just going to say, I did hear a lot of phone calls going on. I did say we couldn't get hold of something else Lovely Andy from Pink Frog has just been in touch and said he's managed to get hold of some more Scotch tape. This is going to be dispatched from the 21st of January. So if you did miss out, I know we said we'd got it, we didn't think we could get any more. Andy's managed to find that for us. Make sure you check your baskets out right now. One day special is going crazy, literally crazy. Don't know what's going to be left for the one day special. It's going to keep selling in between those hours because there's so many people still waiting on the phone line as well. Hazel, we're just watching you finishing off there as well. Do you want to hold that up very quickly? We've got about 5 seconds left.
There you go.
Thank you,
Just
Hazel.
building it.
Check those
Thank you,
baskets out,
everyone.
everybody.